Hey, welcome back. We learned about the totalitarian governments in Europe as well as Japanese militarism. We talked about German aggression along with Italian, Japanese, and then eventually Soviet Union aggression. And all these things helped lead to World War II. And in the last lesson, we learned that the invasion of Poland is what actually caused World War II to begin. So 1 week after signing Nazi-Soviet pact, Germany invaded Western Poland. And as you can see from here, Germany had already taken over Austria and Czechoslovakia, and they're going to go ahead and take over Poland, at least on the western half, and the Soviet Union is going to take over the eastern half. And this causes Britain and France to declare war on Germany, and World War II officially begins. And now you have your two major alliances. You have the Allies, which are France and Britain early on, and the Axis, which is Germany, Italy, and Japan. And although Germany had a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, they did not actually have an alliance. Hitler did not trust Stalin. Stalin did not trust Hitler. Hitler actually had in his book how he wanted to get rid of the world's communists. He's already gotten rid of the Communist Party in Germany. Stalin trusted nobody. So those two are not actually an alliance, although they are a non-aggression pact, because it best serves both of them not to have to attack each other early. Germany wants to deal, just like the Schlieffen Plan in World War I. He wants to avoid a two-front war by defeating France and Britain first before he can turn his attention to the Soviet Union. He wants to do so quickly before the Soviet Union can industrialize. Joseph Stalin, to use a poor pun here, is Stalin. He knows that his country is not ready to go to war, just like they weren't ready to go to war in World War I. However, his policies, however ruthless they are, with the 5-year plans, his military is getting built up very quickly. He does need time to recruit soldiers. He does need time to find more experienced generals, considering he killed almost all of them in the Great Purge. So he's really stalling for time. Hitler is going in and trying to defeat Britain and France first before he turns his attention to the Soviet Union. It's neither side really feels comfortable with each other. They just know that, hey, they have other things that they need to take care of before they go to war against each other. So in this lesson, we're talking about Germany attacks Western Europe. In the final lesson, we'll actually see that Germany's going to turn and attack the Soviet Union. So Poland's gone, and Neville Chamberlain steps down from Prime Minister of Britain. He's the one who said, I have peace for this time. He's the one who negotiated with Hitler and adopted a policy of appeasement to give Hitler whatever he wanted to. Meanwhile, Russia attacks the eastern half of Poland. Things do not seem to be going very well for England and for which is Britain and France. Germany's battle tactic was a blitzkrieg strategy, which means lightning warfare. They combined tanks, which have much more advanced in World War I, along with airplanes, which are also much more advanced in World War I. And they use a strategy that they used late in the war. They kind of stole from the Russians during the Brusilov offensive, where they're going to do these lightning and fast attack strategies, highly concentrated areas, and take down their enemies very quickly. So it's very fast moving. Non-industrialized countries can't really defend against it. And within a month, Germany and Russia had conquered Poland. There was not much there. Britain and France were not even able to help. And they're going to turn, Germany's going to turn its attention to France. As you can tell from this title, France did not do very well in World War II. Apparently, they fell asleep in history class. Hopefully, you guys aren't falling asleep right now. Where they go ahead and put strong fortifications along the German border and leave Belgium mostly unprotected again. Germany goes ahead and invades through Belgium again and pushes through France. This time, Germany does not back off like they did in World War I. They continue to attack France until France surrenders. So this Maginot Line here, these are the strong fortifications here. And once again, Germany just goes through Belgium, avoids it completely, and France is going to surrender very quickly. So in 1949, they avoided the Maginot Line, moving through Belgium instead, just like they did in World War I. Belgium, they thought, was heavily wooded, and their tanks and airplanes wouldn't go through, but the tanks just went straight through, and the airplanes could fly over the trees. Well, they call this a miracle at Dunkirk, but it's not really much of a miracle. Like World War I, Germany troops moved quickly through Belgium, quickly through France. Looks like France is about ready to surrender, just like what happened in World War I. So German army surrounded French and British troops as well as Belgian troops along the English Channel near Dunkirk. So here's Dunkirk. You can see that they have them surrounded. And Hitler makes a mistake, one of many, and he goes ahead and he's going to wait for reinforcements rather than actually attacking. And while he's waiting for reinforcements, the British and French are going to have ships come over the English Channel and take many of these troops back to England so they can fight a future battle. They can leave most of their weapons behind. They do preserve an absolute disaster here by having a lot of their troops saved. They save over 300,000 people. And we're going to go through these battles pretty quickly, just like we went through Poland very quickly. We're going to go through Dunkirk pretty quickly. We're also go through the London Blitz or the Battle of Britain fairly quickly. But I do have other videos I'm going to have you guys watch. So I'll give you guys more detail on this. So looks like France and Britain are going to be forced to surrender. However, they orchestrate an escape across the English Channel. 300,000 soldiers survive. They lose almost all their weapons. And it's considered a miracle. It's a temporary morale boost. Britain says, hey, we're great. Oh, France surrendered. So on June 17th, 1940, France surrenders. This is less than 2 weeks after Dunkirk. Britain is not looking too good. In fact, Britain at this point is pretty much on their own against Germany. Well, with the war basically over, you see, 1 week before France surrenders, Mussolini goes ahead and declares war on France. Once again, he's all talk. He's like, hey, I want to get in before they surrender. He declares war on Britain too. So this is Mussolini trying to get in to win the war without actually fighting the war, riding the coattails of Britain. So Britain and France are going to declare war due to the invasion of Poland. Poland's going to be taken down by tanks and airplanes right away in the Blitzkrieg. And then Soviet Union and Germany are combined for that. Then Germany attacks France through Belgium. France ends up surrendering, and now only Britain remains against Germany. And this turns very similar to what you see with Napoleon and Germany. So Hitler is going to mirror Napoleon quite a bit. His next target is Britain. He has everyone else under his control by either conquest or through negotiations. But he didn't want to attack because of Britain's strong navy, just like Napoleon didn't want to attack because of Britain's strong navy. So he's going to go ahead and use his air force, which Napoleon didn't have the option to bomb Britain. The generals for Germany suggested they bomb industrial outputs, manufacturing hubs. But Adolf Hitler thinks that will take too long, so he tries to just bomb the city of London and other highly populated areas, figuring the people of Britain will surrender. So German bombing raids focus on London. Here you can see a picture, I think, of the palace here that was actually bombed, and people would go down into shelters just like people in the Midwest are supposed to go into their basement during tornado shelters. Tornado warnings, we're not real good at that. And sleep in the subways. And a lot of London was destroyed, but they're able to survive largely because of radar letting them know when the planes are coming and they can take cover. Their air force does a great job. But the main reason why Britain survives is, quite frankly, Hitler becomes impatient. And he knows that if he doesn't invade Stalin and the Soviet Union soon, he's going to have to face winter. And if he waits too much longer, Stalin's going to be highly industrialized and he might not be able to defeat Russia. So Britain has good radar. They have good intelligence information. They can hold off German air raids to a certain extent due to this. You can see the radar here. And after several months, Adolf Hitler gets impatient. He says, this is wrecking my time schedule. And he's going to go ahead and try to invade Soviet Union, which is Operation Barbarossa. He's going to try to conquer Soviet Union before winter and before they can become industrialized. So that's what we're learning about in our next unit. All right, I have support videos for the invasion of Poland, Operation Dunkirk, or the evacuation of Dunkirk, and the London Blitz, which is the Battle of Britain. Please make sure to check out those videos to gain more information about each one of these battles. And our next lesson and the last lesson for World War II is going to be about Germany attacking the Soviet Union. All right, thanks for listening. Hope you guys were able to understand this very well. Don't forget to watch the support videos and make sure that you have your notes filled out as you're watching. Talk to you later. Bye.